once more. Tonight, as we gather to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the IABA, those words feel as urgent as ever. They are a call to courage, a reminder that every generation must face its own breaches, the divides of fear and injustice. And we decide whether to step forward together as a community or not. For many in our community, and many other communities in this country right now, the past years have not been easy. As attorneys, that approaching shadow is more acute, and it is more physical. We have watched our nation close its doors under travel bans that has separated our families, our loved ones, and sent a message that some people belong here and some people do not. And those that don't belong here, just based on where they come from or what faith they hold. It is a direct affront to the fundamental notion of equality under the law. We've seen unimaginable governmental force brought to bear on individuals based on nothing more than their viewpoints. And advocates detained simply because they dared to express an opinion that the government doesn't approve of. For example, to call out horrendous war crimes and genocide. It is a direct affront to the freedoms of speech and expression that constitute, that define the promise of America. We've seen protesters labeled as the enemy, as if dissent and the right to protest is treason. We've seen the National Guard deployed into our cities not to protect democracy, but to silence it. We've seen attacks on law firms, on nonprofits, designed to ensure there'll be fewer hands to help when we are petitioning our government for the redress of our grievances. We've witnessed seizures, deportations, and denials of due process of individuals, even those who are here lawfully, as if constitutional guarantees are mere conveniences or privileges that we can be granted when the government wishes. We've seen a steady rise of xenophobia, a demonization of the other, a corrosion of the faith in the courts, the press, our democratic institutions. I would be dishonest if I did not say this to you. It's a dark time. But with the rising darkness, I am still inspired by the first poem I recited for you in 2016. Out of the darkness that covers me, black is the pit from pole to pole. I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody, but unbowed. Look around you in this room. Tonight we do not stand or sit in darkness. We gather in defiance. At today's conference, we saw our community's resilience in action. Iranian American public servants are no longer standing on the sidelines and watching history unfold, but they are shaking. Across the country, we are seeing more and more Iranian Americans on the bench, in city councils, in legislatures. Many that are here tonight should be an inspiration to each and every one of you, bringing the values of fairness, courage, and compassion that our community has long held. This is a story of resilience. We as Iranian Americans know a thing or two about resilience. We've lived through wars, revolutions, through exile, through the rebuilding of our lives and new lands. Not unlike our ancestors, who across thousands of years have not only known the world's greatest of empires, but massacres and destruction, only to rise again, proud and strong. We are a people who have learned again and again to rise, to rebuild, and to resist the temptation of despair. As Iranian Americans, we carry that inheritance with us. As Iranian American attorneys, we have an additional duty. It is not just to fight for our clients, it is to fight for the rule of law itself. In a time when truth and justice are contested at every turn, our profession is both shield and sword. And when those values are threatened, it is not enough to admire the law, it is not enough to pay lip service to the law. We must animate the law. You've heard from many poets today, but let me add one more. You haven't heard from Khayyam yet. از منزل کفر تا به دین یک نفس است. از عالم شک تا به یقین یک نفس است. این یک دم عمر را غنیمت شما که از حاصل عمر ما همین یک نفس است. 'Tis a moment from unbelief's home to faith's door. 'Tis a moment from doubt's realm to certainty's shore. Prize this precious moment dearly, for our lives, the sole certain product is this product, this moment, and no more. I take a lot of inspiration from this poem for three reasons. It reminds us that changes, substantive, great changes, are possible for every single one of us. It reminds us that changes can happen in a moment, and that one moment is really enough. And it reminds us that this moment is the only one that is shown to us. So why a moment? Because one moment is all you need to make a decision. One moment is all you need to commit to a course of action. So tonight, in this 25th year of IABA, let us commit once more into the breach. Let us find a way to stand in that gap. What can you do? A lot. You can offer your time and expertise to those community members in need. We have our fellow coalition partners in this room, and they need your help. You can donate so that IABA can continue to do its amazing work. You can just join IABA as a member. I know there are some of you out here that are not. You can just join and become a member and encourage others to do it. Together, we are stronger. And by the way, it's not just about IABA. Do pro bono work at your firms. Give your time and your money to nonprofits who are out there fighting for your fundamental rights. And most importantly, consider public service. We need more and more of you in city councils and legislatures on the bench. Because the rule of law does not defend itself. We must defend it. And when we do so together, we become more than a bar association. We become a force for conscience. We become a community of hope and resilience. So, my friends, once more into the breach. Once more into the courtroom, into the classrooms, into the halls of power. Once more into the places where people can't speak for themselves, where the rights are hanging in the balance. Once more with courage, with community, and with the certainty of knowing that resilience is not born of comfort. It is born of hardship. It is born of strength. Shukran. Raise a glass. Here's to IABA. 25 years strong, and to the next 25 years where I hope and I pray that unity will remain our greatest strength and resilience and hope.